Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming tonight to the September Barrow County Board of Education Board Meeting. We've got some recognitions tonight. I think that's probably why there's so many people here. If you stay till the end, I think we have donuts, but that's just a rumor. Okay, we're going to start out with the invocation and the pledge. Mr. Lumpkin is going to do the honors, and then our Appalachia High School ROTC, Junior ROTC is going to present the colors.
Let us stand. Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day, a day that you have made, and we are glad and we rejoice in it. Thank you for all of the stakeholders tonight that represent Barrow County School System. The parents, the students, the administrators, the board, the community, the teachers, all of the stakeholders. We ask a special prayer for everyone tonight. We lift up tonight also, Lord, our board member, Ricky Bailey. We ask that you touch him in a special way as he deals with illness. And we pray for all families that are dealing with all types of illness, whether they be physical or mental. We lift a special prayer tonight. Be with us as we conduct the business of our school system. Keep us with one accord. And may all that we do somehow give you back to glory. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Mark.
Mark time, march. Detail, halt. Center, face. Post, colors. Recover. Present, arms.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag, States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Left, face. Forward, march. Mark time, march. Detail, halt. Left, face. Right, face. Forward, march. All left, march.
Thank you so much, cadets.
All right, let's get started. First of all, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes from our July 26th work session.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Kelly, Mr. Lumpkin, all in favor? Okay. Next, the motion to approve the minutes from the August 2nd board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Stevens and Mr. Raper, all in favor? And I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Kelly and Mr. Lumpkin, all in favor? Okay. Committee reports. Ms. Bramlett, you're going to talk about our visits to the schools a couple weeks ago.
Yes, Mr. Ritter and I visited Winder Elementary School, Russell Middle School, and Winder Barrow High School. This year we started a new tradition, if you will, where we are going to do not only clean schools, but safe schools. And we're really excited about that because this board and this school system, the executive cabinet, obviously we take the safety of our students as the #1 priority. That's something that, you know, we won't take second to. So as we went through the schools, you know, we were looking for things like making sure that doors were locked, looking at ways that we can make sure that the schools could be made as safe as they possibly can be. And the board members will continue to do that. So I'm really excited about that. Our chief security or safety officer, John Skinner, was with us on these tours. So I feel very blessed that our school system has that person. We are one of the only school systems in the area that has that. And I, as a parent in the school system, feel extremely blessed that we have such a position in the system. So I'm very excited to be able to be part of this committee this month and kick that off and be able to announce that to you guys. All of the schools do very, very well. They always do. So it was as always, a very hard decision. That was the week of the Battle of Barrow. So we visited Winder High School. So I'm sorry to say that we felt like we could not let them be glory hogs and win the Battle of Barrow in clean and safe schools. So we did not choose them. We didn't want them to get big heads. So sorry, Winder High School, although you did a great job. We decided that the winners this month would be Russell Middle School. So congratulations to Russell Middle School, and thank you to all the schools. Thank you to all the schools for continuing to do a great job keeping our students safe by not only being safe but clean, and we just really appreciate your efforts. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Bramlett. Okay, next, Dr. McMichael has some exciting recognition.
Yes, sir, we do. We'll start off with asking Mr. Parental to come up and recognize our custodians.
Thank you all. Good evening. We appreciate you giving us an opportunity to recognize some special folks. This is really our first ever Custodian of the Week awards. We have the Clean School Awards. We've been doing that for years. But Greg Webb, our Director of Maintenance, said, you know, we need to recognize folks who step out and go a little bit above and beyond. And so he put this together to where we could recognize someone from a different school each week of the month. And so for the week of August, we've gone through and this is from staff kind of looking at our folks and the things they're doing. We've got some comments from the schools, the companies that oversee the various workers. And so we'd like for them to come up as we call your name. And I'll say a thing or two about that as you come up. So first off, from Winder Elementary School is Maria Ulichuk. Come on up, Maria. And we're going to ask that y'all stick around for a moment because we're going to take your picture out in the lobby when you're done. But this was said of Maria. The school received a letter of praise from a student's mother whose child reported that the restrooms were the cleanest they had ever seen. All right, so this is a child at school going back home and telling their mom about the cleanliness of the restrooms. That's pretty neat. Okay, Jay Daniel, Bethlehem Elementary School. And I don't know that everyone's here, but all right, Jay. And this was said about Jay. Jay has enthusiasm and passion about his job. We appreciate the pride he bestows upon his daily work. And you'll see, or you may notice that these folks work for different companies. So Maria from Primero Staffing and Jay with ACS. From FQS and representing Heyman Morris Middle School is Fred Banks. Fred and his team maintain BCT floors well above the standard level for schools. I was at Hammond Morris one evening, just kind of popping in, looking around. And I ran into his wife and she said, Fred had an appointment today. He's not feeling that great, but he's going to be in a little bit later because these are his floors. And he's going to make sure they look like he wants them to look for that next day of school. So there's ownership there. There's pride there. Okay. Tanisha Velez, also with Primero. Tanisha is the day porter at Auburn Elementary School. I think we got maybe a little cheering section here from Auburn today. But Tanisha received a standing ovation from the staff and faculty at Auburn when they returned back to school. And I also know that Tanisha has been kind of pulled aside every now and then when you have a call in and they need a little help with translation. And she's been able to provide that too. So again, it's just that level of care. It's not always just about cleaning, it's about helping people. And so we appreciate you, Tanisha. Okay, and finally, Ashley Arias. This is, yeah. And Ashley works for Barrow County Schools. We have an in-house crew there at Appalachia High School. And Ashley was the first hire for our new Appalachia High School in-house team. She even showed up to work a day early. So she cares and really does a great job for us there at Appalachia. So thank you to each of you. We appreciate what you do. We appreciate how much you care, not only about your job, but about the schools and the kids and the staff. Your great work really just reflects so well upon you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe. And that's what it's all about. It's a team effort, and
right.
these folks are just amazing team players. We couldn't do it without them. Now we're coming to another of the best things we do here in Barrow County, and that's finally getting a chance to honor our Teachers of the Year for this year. And before we get started, I just wanted to thank everyone for being here. Thank all our Teachers of the Year. Last year was a tough year in the teaching and learning business. All years have their challenges for sure, especially the past 2 or 3. Last year, I would say, I've been doing this now 28 years, probably the toughest one in my career. So I can only imagine what went on in the classrooms and how tough that was. And then with that, being chosen by a group of your peers to be recognized to begin with at the school level. And then we go through a pretty rigorous process. Back when I first started, Teacher of the Year sometimes was more of a popularity contest and these type of things. Not here in Barrow County. We put them through the ringer. There's some writing homework that goes along with it and some observations by the committee, which several board members sit on, and others. I believe the prior Teacher of the Year also sits on that. So some pretty high expectations going into those classrooms, what they're going to see. So when you've made it to this level, it's really a high honor. And before we do get started, I want to thank the committee. Several members are here. If you'll raise your hand if you were on the committee, so we kind of all know who might be here. Also, Ms. Megan McNally kind of heads this up and wrangles all the cats and make sure they get where they need to be and all those good things. And we also have sponsors, which we'll mention later. And couldn't do it again. This is another team community effort to make this what it is. I also want to thank Kevin McCage. I don't think Kevin's with us tonight, but he's one of our IT guys, and he makes sure all the prizes are the right things and those type of things. Pretty important fella to get to know when it comes to that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Moten. Great.
Good evening, everyone. It is my honor and my pleasure to announce the names of our Teachers of the Year. And I echo the sentiments of Dr. McMichael in congratulating you. You are the best of the best. You have endured COVID and some other things that were not quite like COVID. We appreciate all that you do, and I am honored to be counted among the profession with you. So we are very appreciative of everything that you do. So with that, thought you were gonna say, can we play the drum roll? I was getting ready. Okay. Yes, we can play the video. Yes.
The 2022-2023 Barrow County School System Teachers of the Year. Auburn Elementary School Teacher of the Year, Shelley Warrington. Bethlehem Elementary School Teacher of the Year, Helena Ostafan. County Line Elementary School Teacher of the Year, Katie Dills. Holzenbeck Elementary School Teacher of the Year, Whitney Mole. Statham Elementary School Teacher of the Year, Emily Dixon. Winder Elementary School Teacher of the Year, Polly Hickson. Yargo Elementary School Teacher of the Year, Kelly Cravey. Bear Creek Middle School Teacher of the Year, Chelsea Helton. Heyman Morris Middle School Teacher of the Year, Leisha Hutchinson. West Side Middle School Teacher of the Year, Valerie Lancaster. Barrow Arts and Sciences Academy and Sims Academy Teacher of the Year, Robert Simpson. Winder Barrow High School Teacher of the Year, Emily Freeman. Arts and Innovation Magnet Program Teacher of the Year, Laura Payne. Alternative Education Program Teacher of the Year, James Jones. Bramlett Elementary School Teacher of the Year and District Finalist, Tammy Dubose.
So we're going to go over all of our vowel sounds. Vowels are A, E, I, O, U, right? We're gonna go over those first with our flashcards. And we're gonna get baby Echo today. Baby's gonna help us. Mama's watching now.
Kennedy Elementary School Teacher of the Year and District Finalist, Alicia Caldwell.
The smaller the denominator, the larger the pieces. Okay. And did you prove that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So look, this is his pizza. Look, it's bigger.
Right.
But look at Jordan's. It's
Right.
smaller.
So if you had to cut your
Russell Middle School Teacher of the Year and District Finalist, Ella Daniel.
All right, so I'm gonna give you 3 minutes. Discuss our 3 questions. What kind of government is must and learn to? What evidence we have that supports that? And then what information might we be missing that could help us even better decide? Okay, ready, set, and go.
Appalachia High School and 2022-2023 Barrow County School System Teacher of the Year, Dion Muldrow.
I love teaching just because I love seeing kids grow and mature. And I tell my kids every day, you are the reason I come to school. I come to school because of the students in my band. If it's worth doing well, and it's worth working through the hard to get to the great on the other side. And the great on the other side is watching a student cross that stage when it's time to graduate, and then seeing them when they're in their 30s be successful. If we remember that the day that we start teaching, it'll carry you your whole career. When I started, I was terrible. I failed my first semester of band, and my dad got wind of it and worked it out. So I started practicing, and then once I got into it and got the bug, it gave me direction. And so when I did that, it focused my entire school life. Like academics became more important. My relationships with people became important. The way I treated people became important because I knew this was something after a year or so, it was something I knew I was going to do the rest of my life. I love everything about teaching the kids. I like being able to help them to be the best version of themselves. And at the end of the day, we all as teachers should make it our number one goal to make that child comfortable with themselves. And when they're comfortable with themselves, then they're going to be great at everything. A lot of the educators here are born and raised Barrow. They've gone to college, they've gone to other places, and they came back home and now they teach back where they grew up. And that creates that community. And that gives us a really warm, welcoming environment. That's what's different. That's what makes us exceptional. And Barrow County Schools does a fabulous job of investing in people, not just kids, but teachers and the community around. And it's just a great place to be. You know, being chosen Teacher of the Year for Barrow County Schools is an honor. I'm here to help make students' lives a better place. I want their world to be great. I want them to be great when they are done with our school system. And the fact that some people saw that passion shows in me is humbling. It's just my hopes that I do a fabulous job representing everything that is Barrow County, which is just a wonderful place to be, a wonderful place to raise kids in the school system. There's something better in Barrow County.
Congratulations to our Barrow County School System Teachers of the Year.
Absolutely. Thank you for responding to the call. And now, beginning with Auburn Elementary, I would like to announce the School Teachers of the Year. Shelley Warrington. Helena Ostafin. Bethlehem Elementary. Katie Deals, County Line Elementary. Whitney Mull, Holzenbeck Elementary. Emily Dixon, Statham Elementary. Holly Hickson, Winder Elementary. Kelly Cravey, Yargo Elementary. Chelsea Helton, Bear Creek Middle. Leisha Hutchinson, Heyman Morris Middle. Valerie Lancaster, West Side Middle. Robert Simpson is the Teacher of the Year for Barrow Arts and Sciences Academy and Sims Academy. Unfortunately, he is not with us due to a family emergency. We are pleased to have Principal Nick Sheeman accept the Teacher of the Year award on his behalf. Emily Freeman, Winder Barrow High School. Laura Payne, Arts and Innovation Magnet Program. James Jones, Barrow County Alternative Education Program. Tammy DuBose, Bramlett Elementary School. And these are system finalists that have Dr. McMichael's name by them, but I'm going to announce them anyway. So congratulations, Tammy, as a system finalist. Alicia Caldwell, Kennedy Elementary School, system finalist. Ella Daniel, Russell Middle School, system finalist. We had the honor of hearing Mr. Muldrow share a very moving speech with us on video, and it is my pleasure to announce and share with you Dion Muldrow, Appalachia High School's band director, as the District Teacher of the Year. Mr. Muldrow. So happy your father pointed you in the right direction. Okay, we have two community partners for special presentations to Mr. Muldrow. We have Ms. Peggy Kilgrove of Peach State Federal Credit Union.
You want to come up? Congratulations on behalf of Peach State Federal Credit Union. Here's your check for $500 to do as you please. And there's a peach in here that it was not Georgia grown, but it is made in Georgia.
In addition, for Mr. Muldrow, we have Derek Panic, General Manager of Hayward Allen Cadillac GMC Buick Toyota of Athens.
That's right. That's right. So congratulations. It's an honor to be with all of the talented teachers. Appreciate what you do. And on behalf of our staff at Low Story, we'd like to present you a check for $1,000. I want to see this document for celebrating this day. Thank you so much.
For the system finalists.
Additional gifts for the system finalists at this time, Dr. McMichael?
Yes, ma'am. You like?
And this is for Mr. Muldrow.
Yes, it's gifts from us, technology. Yeah, can't thank all of you enough for what you do every day. It is tougher and tougher to be in education, especially in the classroom, I believe. And we try to do everything we can to help support that, and we're going to keep getting better and better. But it always comes down to that teacher and that student in that classroom, and that's what it's all about. And I've told Dion this before. You all are heroes, and you exemplify that. Now you have that on your shoulders for all of your folks back at your schools, because they are also heroes, but you've been chosen to represent them this year. And that's a high and heady honor. And we really cannot express our appreciation for what you do every day. And not just during the school day, because we know there's so much more. And you have many family members here also. We'd like to give you all a round of applause too, because we know what you do. Being married to a teacher and being a teacher myself, I do know all the extra hours and all of those pieces that you give up to take care of other people's children. And but as Dion said in his, it's when you see them at 30, getting some that are getting close to 50 now, which is hard to believe, but you see them turn into real people at some point, and it's just an amazing thing. And to know you had just a little bit of that influence there's nothing like it. It really is. So we do appreciate y'all more than we can tell.
I just like,
Oh,
So if we could get our teacher here and superintendent down here in the scout, I think, celebrate this one.
I just also like to say on behalf of the board and the committee, when Megan gives us that folder with all your biographies and your written information, it is the hardest thing we do all year because you're all outstanding. You all do a fantastic job. And I just, hats off to each one of you. You're truly Barrow's best. So thank you.
We're gonna make additional pictures outside of our teachers of the year. We'll all go through this door. Anyways, if you're here and also want to leave, you'll go that way and circle around to the left. I'd also like any of our sponsors to please stand so we can recognize you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for
Yeah, she was pregnant.
Every year that group gets harder and harder to pick from there.
It's daunting.
That's one of the things I don't mind missing out. It's hard having to make those decisions.
Okay. We're gonna move on now. We've got two requests to appear before the board tonight. You'll each have 3 minutes to speak. First, DeAndre Linton. DeAndre? Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for your time. My name is DeAndre Linton, and I wanted to speak before the board. There's a directive that's out about a child that gets in a fight is automatically sent to the alternative school. As a parent, I do not condone fighting at all, but I also do condone that being a partner in education, that discipline needs to fit just about every crime. Originally, I did a lot of research and just looking, one of the biggest things that were concerning into the district is the original handbook stated that if a child were to get in a fight, there's parent direction, there's behavior corrections, ISS, OSS I'm new to the district, so I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what made the directive come in place. But what I will say is just with case by case and student that I've heard after student, there's a lot of students that we know that middle school and high school, there's a transition in middle school that kids lose their mind. There's a transition in high school, they lose their mind with just friendship challenges, popularity, confidence, hormones. We know the last 2 years in the pandemic has been really hard. The biggest thing about alternative school is it's a label. A child sent to alternative school, of course, anyone in the community, your child is sent to alternative school. But most importantly, a child loses out on sportsmanship, things that really meant something to them that honestly, I feel like on a first offense shouldn't be the first option. It should be behavior correction. 18 weeks is a long time for a child to be separated for something that's normal, in a sense of to where they could have gotten behavior corrected in school, out of school. I know most kids who parents are child is out of school, they are not playing video games and eating pizza. Most of them are disciplined. And they're going back to school with corrective behavior. But 18 weeks of a child missing out on playing games, things that are recreational, away from friends, already of the challenges that led to possibly the fight. I really feel that the directive just needs to be a case by case. It needs to be on a child's behavior records, a child's academic records. It needs to be more than just a child gets in a fight, they're sent to alternative school. I come from other districts. I've done research. Most districts, it's a repeated offender gets sent to alternative school. We're preparing our children in the adult world. Being that we're preparing our children in the adult world, there's a difference between a misdemeanor and a felony. You get a speeding ticket, you could go to jail. However, most of the time you get a ticket that's an inconvenience, and some officers may even let you off with a warning. You get points on your license before your license even gets suspended. So when it comes to children, why are we not taking that same attitude with disciplining them in the message that we're also sending to our children? So I know there's not just one, but there's many children that are in the alternative school on a first offense. It's not that they are a behavioral child. It's not a child that was not academically strong. It could have been a child who had a very tough day, a very tough week, and reacted. And I feel like those things should be in consideration in our district. May need to look at corrective behavior, conflict resolution within the school, more readily available counselors. I'm just saying that I believe a resolution to this directive is more to go back to what the original handbook has stated, that, you know, we'll do a behavior correction plan, disciplinary probation, you know, suspended from out schools OSS, meaning that that child might miss their game. They might miss something that's inconvenience, not 18 weeks of being in a place to where they are actually labeled, or they're not able to participate in any extracurricular activities. They're not even really able, if their friend is in a band, they cannot go to that concert. They can't do anything for 18 weeks. You're removing a child from a lifestyle for 18 weeks to expect corrective behavior for a one-time mistake, which in reality, in the real world, that doesn't happen to adults. So pretty much that was one of my concerns, that I feel like it needs to be addressed out loud as a parent who's in the community, as a parent who do have other children coming through the school district. So that's my time.
Thank you, Ms. Linton. Well
Thank
said.
you.
Appreciate you. Okay, and then we have Miss Allison Levesque. Hope I pronounced that right. Levesque.
Never mispronounced it. Good evening, I'm Allison Levesque. I come before you today to share concerns about the plans for the new school located on the Innovation campus. According to a press release posted on September 16th, 2021, this would be, quote, the 10th elementary school in the district for pre-K to 5th grade. Now, 1 year later, we're hearing those plans have changed, and it will now be a 4th and 5th grade academy for the Appalachia cluster. This new plan is very concerning to me and many other parents that will be affected by this change in school structure. How is this more beneficial to the students than rezoning? Rezoning, which you stated would begin August 2022, according to the earlier mentioned press release. I'm a parent on the west side of the county. According to Google Maps, it could take a car between 20 and 35 minutes to travel from our school zone to Austin Road. This is in a car, not on a bus. How does the county plan to get these students from Appalachia Elementary Schools to Austin Road? Will you be busing them with their current drivers who also must run middle and high school routes? If you promise to be providing this form of transportation, you must first make sure that this is going to be safe for all Barrow County students and their bus drivers. This would include making sure that all 4th and 5th graders are not riding on a bus with middle and high school students. How will hundreds of students be supervised while they are riding the buses from their home schools to Austin Road? I am a professional educator who understands things like this can affect a student's progress. And 4th and 5th grade is very fast paced. These students need as much instructional time as possible. How do you plan to make sure there's no loss of instructional time? I hope you aren't considering starting these children's school days any earlier or keeping them longer. These young children are in school long enough without an additional hour tacked on to their day so they can go across the county instead of to the closest school to their homes. One major issue in education today is the lack of parental involvement. How do you expect to have parents more involved in a school that's completely across the county when they have a hard enough time coming to a school that's 5 minutes away? If you're planning to make a final decision before October, we parents are outraged that we have not heard more about this before now, with less than 2 months before the decision is to be made. I'm also concerned that when discussing this with some of the school governance members and leadership across the county, what limited information they gave me was that the academy seemed to be the favorite choice for the county leaders. Why does this seem that the plans have been kept secret for so long from the very people that need to be helping make these decisions? Good, well thought out decisions are not made behind the closed doors of a few, but by the multitudes of people working with these kids. The leaders in our county are trying to make a major change to our school system without trying to upset a large population of people at the cost of our 4th and 5th graders' education, time, and well-being. I understand that rezoning will cost our county leaders a lot of time and resources, but why should the elementary students suffer just to avoid rezoning? I came here to make my voice heard, to suggest that those in charge of making these decisions make sure that their focus is on the most logical solution to our issue of overpopulation, which is rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you. Also very well said. Appreciate that. Okay. Move on to Dr. Green, who does not have anything. Okay. Ms. Houston?
Good evening. We're going to start the night out with our local option sales tax receipts for the month of August. Again, it was another record month. Our residents are really buying in Barrow, which we really appreciate. So we want to say thank you to them. We received $1,747,969.98 for the month of August and sales tax receipts. That's 18.8% up from the prior year, 46% up from 60% up from 2019, and 76% up from 2018. And then for our general fund financial status, our fund balance as of August 31st, 2022 is $48.2 million. Our total revenues year to date for August, $16.8 million. Our total expenditures year to date, $24.9 million. Our total revenues for the month of August, $8.7 million. Our total expenditures for the month of August, $13.8 million. And we were at 17% of the year, and our expenditures are below that line and our revenues are a little bit lower, but of course we haven't received any property taxes yet. The next is just a more detailed report for the general fund. Then we're going to move on to our special revenue fund for the month of July. We run a month behind on these reports. Our year-to-date revenues were $17.3 million, or $17,300. This, of course, is mostly our federal funds, so we don't get reimbursed until starting in September, October. Our expenditures were $433,000. For our enterprise fund, we haven't received any funds. This is the school fines, speeding fines, and we haven't received that money yet. So this nothing in it as of today. Our capital projects, our year-to-date revenue, $74,000. Our year-to-date expenditures, $33.4 million. And for our debt service fund, our year-to-date revenue, $3.3 million. And no expenditures yet because we haven't had to pay our debt service. And that is all that I have tonight. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Parental? Dr. Moulton? Ms. Banks? We have nothing to clarify, no old business. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. First off, Dr. Wood respectfully submitted for approval of the CTAE local plan for the federal and state grants. We have Learning AZ RAS plus Amy Wright. The superintendent recommends authorizing the purchase of Learning AZ software such as RAS Plus, Reading AZ, and RAS Kids, etc. Sole source provider for K through 8 students. The term of the contract is 1 year. Based on the yearly satisfaction of the product, we would like permission to renew up to a maximum of 5 years. At the end of each school year, school leaders will review their usage reports and adjust accordingly for the number of licenses needed to continue to support their students. The total funding request is for up to $75,000, depending on yearly school needs to be paid out of school consolidated funds. With air conditioning retrofit on school buses, the superintendent recommends Valio thermal bus for AC retrofits. Funding will be splost ESSER funds for the purchase of kits and installs. Expenditure amount of $12,111 per bus, up to 100 units, totaling $1.2 million. Chromebook RFP. The superintendent recommends authorizing the purchase of Dell Chromebooks. From low bid, responded Dell of Round Rock, Texas, in the amount of $380 per Chromebook. 501 Chromebooks total, for a total of $190,380. And to further authorize use of this response for an additional 90 days for a maximum additional cost of $95,000 for any additional purchases or departments may seek in the next 3 months. Converting alarm elevator to VIP and cellular. The superintendent recommends authorizing the conversion of elevator and security systems from standard landline telephone service to cellular and network-based service at a one-time fixed cost of $36,732.89, generating a yearly savings of $66,716.40 per year in years 2 and beyond. Next, we have Cobb Pediatrics contract. The superintendent recommends that the Barrow County School System renew a contract with Stepping Stones Group LLC, formerly Cobb Pediatrics, to provide speech services to Barrow County. Special education students for up to $103,360 per year. The contract will renew yearly as long as we are satisfied with their services and the cost does not increase more than 4% each year. Cellular Health contract. The superintendent recommends that Barrow County School System renew a collaborative agreement with Cellular Health to provide one-on-one nursing services should a medically fragile student enroll in our system. These services shall not exceed $80,784 per year. The contract will renew yearly as long as we are satisfied with the services and the cost does not increase more than 4% per year. Let's Talk Therapy contract. Superintendent recommends that the Barrow County School System renew a contract with Let's Talk Speech Therapy to provide speech services to Barrow County students who qualify for special education services but attend private school or are homeschooled for up to $37,500 per year. Contract will renew yearly as long as we are satisfied with the services and the cost does not increase more than 4% per year. Preschool evaluation contract with Cheryl Bushway. The superintendent recommends that the Barrow County School System enter into a contract with school psychologist Cheryl Bushway to provide evaluation and report writing services for Barrow County special ed preschool students for up to $30,000 per year. The contract will renew yearly as long as we are satisfied with the services and the cost does not increase more than 4% per year. Heartland Software. The superintendent recommends acceptance of Heartland School Solutions in the amount of $25,210.20 as a software support company for school nutrition. Nutrition bars, the superintendent recommends acceptance of National Food Group, Inc. as a food vendor for Barrow County Schools, total cost of $34,571.25. Compensation for use of planning time for teachers. The superintendent recommends paying our current teachers for covering a classroom during the planning time when there's no substitute available. Cost of up to $1.5 million paid out of ESSER funds. Additional resource officers. Superintendent recommends increasing funding for up to 3 additional school super resource officers, $120,000 per year, $40,000 per. Benchmark phonics workshop. The superintendent recommends authorizing the purchase of the benchmark phonics workshop program for grades 3 through 5 at Kennedy Elementary School. Benchmark writing workshop for grades K through 2 at Auburn Elementary School, and benchmark writing workshop for grades K through 5 at Statham Elementary School. These materials will be used to help teachers deliver phonics and writing lessons. These materials support district and individual school improvement plans, as well as L4GA grant goals. Open Up Algebra resources for high schools. The superintendent recommends authorizing the purchase of Open Up Algebra 1 student workbooks, teacher editions, and online help videos from Open Up Resources, sole source provider for the 22-23 school year. Open Up Algebra 1 workbooks, teacher editions, and online help video will be purchased for the 23-24 school year from the same funding sources. This might be a record. Fiscal year 24 state capital outlay application. The superintendent recommends acceptance and approval of the Barrow County School System's fiscal year 24 state capital outlay application and start date forms for renovation and modification of Bethlehem County Line and construction of Bassett 2. Athletic field lighting conversion to LED fixtures. The superintendent recommends acceptance of a guaranteed maximum price in the amount of $1.3 million from Charles Black Construction to retrofit the competition athletic fields at Appalachia and Windermere High School to LED fixtures. Construction manager for renovations and modifications to Bethlehem County Line and Winder Elementary. The superintendent recommends Charles Black Construction to serve as construction manager at risk for the renovations and modifications to Bethlehem County Line and Winder Elementary Schools. We went through the board 2023 board training plan and 2023 Board of Education meeting dates. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, motion to approve that extensive consent agenda.
Second.
Mr. Lumpkin and Ms. Bramlett, all in favor? Okay. We have some new business, investing in treasuries. The superintendent recommends investing in government treasuries with available funds to increase interest revenues. Can I have a motion to approve, or do we have any discussion further on this matter?
I think we discussed that pretty much at the work session. I'm ready to vote.
Yeah.
I'm
We
like,
have questions, Tom's online there.
I know how much time by the hour. He's been on there for a while. I make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation. On the government treasurers.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Motion is approved. And next we have the Barrow County School System Policy GAMB, possession of weapons by employees. Can I get a motion to approve that?
Second.
Just clarify that would be motion, put it on the table.
Yes.
Until the next scheduled board meeting for any public input.
Right.
Okay. Can we get a motion to approve for the authorization of committees to meet?
We gotta vote on that first, on the weapons. to
We're
lay down.
tabling that.
Oh, but
You have to-
we have to
Okay,
vote.
okay, sorry. Motion, sorry.
Step on
Okay, we need a motion to approve the weapons by employees policy.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? The motion to approve the authorization for committees to meet.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Okay. At this point, we're going to move into executive session to discuss or deliberate upon the appointment and employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action or dismissal or periodic evaluation or rating of a public officer or employee as, or to interview applicants for the position of superintendent.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be back in about 15, 20 minutes. Thanks, everybody.